Overflows.
Conscious and unconscious relationship. A relationship can be conscious or unconscious. It all depends on you. A relationship can be miserable or blissful. This too will depend on you. You are responsible. And with responsibility comes freedom. Relationship is misery when we have no access to what is going on within, when we have no self-understanding of what motivates us and what makes up our personality, when we do not intimately know what our history is, what our wounds, what our needs and expectations are. When we bring all this unworked, combustible material to a relationship, then it is misery. Quite often one feels miserable. Quite often when one feels miserable, blames the other for his or her misery. On the contrary, all that is blissful is because of him or her. The reason for this is deep within. When things are not going your way or you are feeling miserable, you do not want to take the responsibility for your own state of being. Someone else is responsible. Someone else is responsible for this state. Also, you want someone else should do something for you to come out of this state. You do not want to take the responsibility on your shoulders. And that is the sole cause of misery. In no way anybody else can take away your misery. There is no way for it. The only thing is this: existence, or through someone, existence can create an environment for you to work on your own inner state. No one can make you miserable or blissful. Nobody else can do anything. Your misery is your doing, so too your bliss will also be your doing. Certainly, it is hard to accept misery is my doing. Everyone feels that others are responsible for his misery. The husband thinks the wife is responsible for his misery. The wife thinks the husband is responsible for her misery. And children think the parents are responsible for their misery. And parents think children are responsible for their misery. It has become such a complexity. And whenever someone else is responsible for your misery, you are not aware that by giving the responsibility, you are losing your freedom. Responsibility and freedom are two sides of the same coin. With responsibility comes freedom. Each tries to transform or change the other. We talk about the garbage of the others, but we ignore and thus fail to look at our own shortcomings and all that we excrete in different forms, both knowingly and unknowingly. Bringing change in oneself is most difficult, so we choose the easy way of bringing change in other. Remember, a flower only cares for its own blossoming. When it blossoms, it fills the garden, the atmosphere, with its beauty, fragrance, and luster. We do not understand the way a flower works. Human life is a flower. Allow it to blossom. Then an aura of beauty, luster, and fragrance will surround. Each tries to transform the other. We talk about the garbage of the others, but we ignore and thus fail to look at our own shortcomings and all that we excrete in different forms, both knowingly and unknowingly. Bringing change in oneself is most difficult but basic. So we choose the easy way of bringing change in the other. Process of transformation begins with you. The moment you start auditing, introspecting your own dustbin, introspect and are we making our life a zero waste? The moment you are able to do this, your life will radiate fragrance and beauty naturally and spontaneously. This is the way to make your life the mission of life. A mission to live your life as a blend between material and spiritual aspects. This is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. A relationship can be conscious or unconscious. In an unconscious relationship, we blame the other for causing the wounds, whereas in a conscious relationship, we see that the other merely triggers what is already invisibly present within us. This is where intimacy can be an enormous opportunity of healing and transformation. This is where intimacy can play an enormous role and is an opportunity for healing and transformation. But for this, meditation is needed. Without meditation, it is difficult to accept our stuff. We be accountable for all that we carry from the past and all that we manifest in life and love. We meditate, we see that it is not the relationship that is the misery, but it is the unconsciousness that causes the pain. A relationship is misery when we have no access to what is going on within, when we have no self understanding of what motivates us and what makes up our personality, when we do not intimately know what our history is, what our wounds, what our needs and expectations are, when we bring all this unworked, combustible material to a relationship, then it is misery. As we mature and have our hearts broken a few times, we then we can start to see our relationships as a profound way to grow, heal, and awaken to something closer to our true nature. This kind of relationship thrives on honesty and truthfulness. We are fully prepared to show ourselves exactly as we are, transparent and not trying to preserve some self image. The presence, this presence and openness is very healing and is what enables real contact, a healthy sexuality, and intimacy with self and others. For relationship to work, each party needs to be able to be happy alone without obsessively needing and depending on the other. There are two words, aloneness and loneliness. Loneliness is negative while aloneness is positive. Aloneness means we are all one. This oneness, that we are part of one synergistic harmony, is the essence of aloneness. Usually we think that we mostly want to be with someone because we could not tolerate being alone, and that was an avoidance of facing the ultimate spiritual truth, that is, we are born alone and die alone. Love and meditation can grow hand in hand. You can start the journey from the side of love. When love attains to fruition, it blossoms into meditation. So too, when you begin the journey from meditation, and when meditation deepens, it springs forth into a stream of love. Even if we have tendencies towards merging and getting lost in the other, or tendencies to wall off and isolate ourselves, we can work with these. There is always a kind of richness in being together and being alone in that togetherness. Both togetherness and aloneness deepens the relationship and experience. These bring a unique kind of richness to the life. Remember, growing in love, growing in love together with someone, and deepening meditation and aloneness is a powerful journey. Introspect about the conscious and unconscious aspect of relationship. Take your responsibility for all that is happening in your life. Only then your journey of transformation can begin. Enough for now.